Hello, I'm Kristen Phillips, and this is my book, Dad, You've Got Dementia, Conversations with My Father. Yeah, the idea started in about 2015, and I was living in London at the time, and my dad had dementia. So first there was trying to manage the relationship long distance, and I was trying to think, how can I support him? How can I stay in touch with him? And one thing that I realized was writing down things that he was saying was a sort of a way of keeping connected with him. And then I had this idea, oh, that would be interesting. Other people must be in the same position. They could be in, not even in London, they might be in Auckland with someone in Wellington. How do you talk to someone? So it started off as an idea about suggestions to help people. But then I got more and more drawn to what my dad was saying, and I realized that he was a person with dementia, and people with dementia are marginalized, and actually he was saying it's very often, and he had a lot to say. And so I sort of got rid of the idea of a how-to book, and I just thought, just let's make a book about he's a person with dementia communicating, and here's a reciprocal relationship happening. So that's how it sort of developed over time. And I got help too, you know, I'd take it along. I went to a poetry group, and I'd workshop some of the things I was writing down and some of the things my dad was saying. And they were giving me really good feedback about, this just stands on its own. You don't need to explain it. You know? And what I like about that is that, as you said, the reader can just take what they like and have their own experience of the book. I think that's how I write. I think that's where I write from. So I've written poetry, and my poetry's similar. It sort of comes from that place of wanting to share more on a feeling level than maybe more a thought level. So that just seems the natural way to tell the story. It was very much, let's just take the words he's saying and not embellish it too much, just let the words stand on their own. So it was sort of like snapshots, so they were like little vignettes, they were little moments, and I was trying to capture the moments, which I think is like the poetic influence. You know, you try and capture a moment, and so there are different ways I've captured the moments. There's conversations, and then just little one-liners that he says, which I thought were mostly quite funny, which I thought was this great humour here, or great insight, you know. There's this, if I could just share one, there was this amazing moment where Mia and I were on a Skype call to him, and he constantly said how amazing it was that he was talking to us on the other side of the world. So he was always constantly appreciating that. And he said, oh, it's great to see you. And then he said, it's like electronic flesh. And I was like, that's poetry. That's an incredible line. So I thought, that has to go in the book. Yeah, well, I think poetry, I like spare writing. I like it in literature as well. So that background of reading a lot of poetry, doing courses at the poetry school in London, practicing writing. One of the courses I did was a pamphlet course, and I managed to put together a collection which I didn't even know I had, you know. So just that's been the focus of a lot of my reading and writing. So I was always going to write a short book. I just wasn't going to. I knew that much, and I wanted to tell it in quite a spare way. Yeah, in the last 6 months of Dad's life, he had a lot less language. So the conversations we were having, there was still communication, but it was much more non-verbal. So then I realized I needed to use a narrative technique and describe what was happening. He was still saying some beautifully timed, usually just one word or two, but beautifully timed So I tried to capture those words when they came out, but there were just less words. So yeah, I needed to describe what was happening. I made a very conscious decision that I wanted to try and find a way to kind of stick with Dad right through. So that was very deliberate on my part. And I found a way through reading this book, Contented Dementia, which gave some techniques and tools which I found worked for me. So it was really helpful to keep the conversation going, because up until I started writing them down, we had been going in circles, and I was getting more and more frustrated, and it was hard, and I could feel Dad slipping away, and I was like, I don't know how to stay in touch. But I remember the first times I tried to talk in this different way, letting him lead, not asking questions, making statements. Suddenly he was coming back and I was following him. So doing that led to the conversations and did, I guess, inform my writing and what I was going to write and how I was going to write it. The wonderful thing happened was what came back. So if I could let go of, he has to remember my name, if I could let go of that, but look at his face and go, oh, every time he sees me, he goes like that, like he's just seeing me for the first time, or that he's punching me, or that he leans into a hug. It's just different, So it is sad. It is sad that we don't have, it was sad that we couldn't talk about all the stuff in our past and shared, but like they say with dementia, with someone with dementia, you're very much in the moment. You just have to be in the moment with what's happening. And I learnt to get better at just being with him. And I think he knew I was there. Definitely he knew I was there, because you can see in the book things came back from him, that kind of mutuality was happening. Yeah, there absolutely is. It's a really big topic, and there's not like a single one answer to that question. So this is one way, sharing lived experience, where it's gone okay. It's still sad, but it's gone okay. People learning about dementia and what the person with dementia is experiencing. And there's a great book out by Wendy Mitchell called What I Wish Everybody Knew About Dementia from Somebody Who Knows. I learned so much from reading that book. And it made sense about things that was happening to Dad, so that would have helped with having more empathy. Then you've got these programs like The Restaurant That Makes Mistakes. That's wonderful for reducing stigma, because people with dementia can still function. It's those of us around them, we just need to change a bit and adjust our expectations. And then everyone feels pretty happy, actually. And it's wonderful to see a loved one, like on the show. You can just see people's esteem rising, and getting support from other people. Dementia Wellington offers a range of support services and help for people with dementia, supporters. And the thing is, everybody will have something that works for them, so they'll find something. I remember hearing about a woman, she'd go on a walk with her mother, and on every walk she'd pick up a leaf, put it in a book, write down what happened on that day, and that was a book for her mum. It's beautiful, very creative, visual. Well, the really obvious one is just slowing down, just have to go a bit slower. And the one that really helped me a lot was don't ask questions, because asking questions of someone with short-term memory loss or with dementia, it just can create a lot of tension. So making statements that helps everyone feel at ease. And then the other one, these are all from Contented Dementia, was don't contradict. So just go along with what the person's saying as best you can. And maybe I used to just experiment. So Dad would say, how was your day? I talked to him about how my day was, and then he'd ask me again in a minute, how was your day? which I interpreted as, I care about you and, I love you, how was your day? And so then I just made a game of it. I thought, I wonder how many answers I can find to tell him how my day was. So then I tell him, about the train trip, how was your day? I tell him, well, I met this person at work, and I just keep batting the ball back very gently, and off we go. And sometimes we go off into something else. So it's just developing skills. And I keep saying we've done it with cancer. We've got a language now around cancer. When someone has a cancer diagnosis, we know questions to ask, we know what the treatments are, we know about support. And so we'll do the same with dementia, definitely. I have to shout out to the Cuba Press here. That was their idea, and I really like it. I think it's a stunning title page. Yeah, and you can still see the person, you can still see the word, and that's sort of with the person with dementia. You still know who they are, so I like that kind of image there. Yeah, I'm still growing into it, I really am, but it feels, I'm learning so much in the process. I guess writing it anyway was great, and then getting it published is like just the absolute icing, because it might not have got published, but there was a lot of catharsis in just writing it, and then it was a dream to get it published, so it's amazing to be holding it. And I guess what I'm learning is the book will just kind of have a life of its own now. I just let it go into the world and see what happens. I do write book reviews for the New Zealand Dementia Foundation, so I'm reading dementia books frequently and writing reviews. I just like the book bite size, do them really short and sweet. But at the moment I'm just focusing on getting the book out, and then we'll see where that leads. Shona McFarlane Residential Care Unit, Te Awa Kairangi Lower Hut, 2016. I call on the landline from London and ask that Dad be given a quiet space to sit. Hello, Kristen. Hello, Dad. That's a nice strong voice, lovely to hear you. What time is it? I tell him, yay, lovely to hear from you. What's happening for you in your life? A cousin of Mia's died on Boxing Day, suddenly, unexpected. That is sadness. What happened? Was she depressed? I don't know. It is tragic. Indeed, my dear, you sound as clear as a bell. You sound as clear as a bell as well. Did she have a good life? Yes, she really lived. How are you feeling? Clear, yes. Chesty, no. I'm slowing down, not quick on the uptake. Here I am in the Hut Hospital. I've got the waiting room to myself. We have a problem with our hot water cylinder, Dad. There's no hot water. That's a basic problem. Is it like a Kiwi can do it yourself culture? I can't remember the British culture. Are there no friends that could do it for you? All the workings are secret. I'm very flattered that you're ringing from the other side of the world. I'm hearing you and sitting in lovely splendour by the cake. Don't eat it, Dad. We laugh. I'm going to write a book about our conversations. Really? You could call it Conversations with My Father. What a good title. I hope I never let you down. No, Dad, never. The cake is just sitting on the table. I've never known you to say no to cake. We laugh.